Hey folks, so it's been a minute since I've made a video for you guys, and I wanted to make this video today because I have the time to do it and I can, uh, get to it. I wanted to make a video so you guys could actually hear my voice again. I know a lot of you leave comments saying that you always appreciate hearing my voice and that I give you comfort somehow. And that really is flattering because of all the YouTubers and anti-natalists out there. You choose to listen to me for comfort, and that is really amazing. So thank you for that. But today's video, I'm just going to talk about um, what plagues a lot of us, and that is fear. Fear. So these past 3 months have been really brutal on the world stage. Collectively, the suffering that is happening on this planet is just intensifying beyond points that are stable. I mean, it seems like every time you turn on the news, anytime you look anywhere, there is always more conflict, more chaos breaking out, more pain and suffering being handed out. And that's not even considering the shit that you have to deal with in your own life. And lately, I've just been having a lot of mental anxiety, a lot of mental stress, and wanting to cry. I think I'm in need of a very good cry, and I have to. Maybe I'll find a really sad song to listen to, and hopefully that'll bring on the waterworks. I know some people do that. So you ever heard somebody say they like to get a really sad song and then listen to it and then they start to cry? What if it fucking works? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll have to give that a go. Maybe I'll listen to the soundtrack of The Lovely Bones. I mean, that fucking movie put me to waterworks every fucking time. But but anyway, it's just I'm really afraid. And that really is what it comes down to. I'm afraid. I look at life and I know that realistically there is no guarantee for us to be happy or to have things go our way. There is no guarantee for safety or comfort. And all the shit that I've seen happening around me, not just on the news, but in my personal life, how things are developing, and it just it worries me. It worries me. I'm constantly anxious about what fucking next, because you climb one hurdle and then you get knocked back down, and then life tosses in another problem after that, and then you get these random fucking pains that happen in random fucking places, and you're like, oh no, what now? And it's so much to deal with. It's so fucking much to deal with. It's like every problem that comes my way, I just want to fucking scream and just make myself disappear. And I have to be honest with you guys, I've been contemplating suicide a lot more than what I usually do. And the only reason I haven't done it is because I haven't found a surefire, safe method. And because, I still have that annoying empathy, uh, trying to hang on for other people. And I know it's just the craziest thing, but I can't even help it. Like, I know my family loves me, and these are really good people. And collectively we've all been through a lot of shit, and I just wouldn't want to add on to that plate of suffering. But at the same time, it's like, goddamn, what about me? What about my suffering? What about the suffering that I have to go through, and the fear and anxiety that I have to live through because life just won't fucking let up. And it's just been one hurdle after the next. And I try my best to keep a straight face about it. I try my best not to uh, let it just completely destroy me, but it's so hard to have any hope for anything. As a matter of fact, I can confidently tell you I don't have hope in anything. I just don't. I am I want to surrender, but the thing about life is even when you do surrender, it doesn't let up. See, life is like a fucking war criminal. You can wave the white flag, you can put down your guns, you can lay down your defenses, and life is going to charge right at you and do you some fucking damage. And it doesn't care, it doesn't take any prisoners. Life is so brutally painful, so brutally sadistic that there are none who are spared from it. I don't care if you're a child, I don't care if you're elderly. Life has a fucking hammer and it's coming for you. You know, it's coming for you. It's got all kind of tools that it's going to try to hit you with. And pretty much life is just ducking and dodging shit and trying your best not to get hit with shit. But then, you know, it's ultimately useless because guess what? Life's going to fucking get you. And when it does, it's oftentimes not pretty. You know, the lucky ones are the ones who die from heart attacks, in my opinion. The lucky ones are the ones who die from heart attacks or who die in their sleep or who have some kind of really quick accident that happens and they're dead before they can even register what happened to them. Those are the lucky ones. But for the rest, it's a long and gruesome process. And it terrifies me. It terrifies me. And when people tell me to go to therapy, I just look at them and I was like, what the fuck are you people talking about? Therapy is not going to solve the fucking problem. The problem is not that I just need a pill. Well, I would prefer a pill, but not for the not for what you're thinking. I mean, if they had a pill that can knock you out the game when you take it, amen, give me the pill, you know, let me have it. Shit. Let's get the goddamn thing over with. I'm fucking tired of it. But people pretend that therapy is the golden bullet, that therapy is going to help you and save you from everything, and it's not. Because what they fail to see is that the problem is life itself. And I don't know of any therapist who's going to be able to solve that problem unless they can magically make all pain go away or unless they can magically make all problems disappear. If they can make all anxieties and depressions disappear and all the things that plague the mind. Because right now, I'm telling you, I'm fucking anxious, you know? I'm on my P's and Q's, I'm on my tippy toes, and I'm just anxious about everything. And I feel genuinely afraid when I think about the shit that life can do to me. And not just to me, but to all of you, you know, and the people that I care about. And it's just it's gruesome. And it fills me with not only sadness, but with really bitter hatred. And you know, I don't know who's to aim that hatred at. I mean, I hate life. This is true. And if there is a God who created this shit, I hate it too. With a passion. With a fiery passion. If God existed and created this shit and has all power and all that fanciful shit and just watches this kind of suffering happen day in and day out in the lives of people by the billions, and you know, fuck whoever did that. I mean, if there was a God who did such a thing, the only thing that I could think about towards that God is fucking murdering it. Murdering it slowly. As most painfully as I possibly could get. Murder it to fucking death. And then peacefully let the universe disappear. But unfortunately, I can't do that. You know, and so what I'm left with is just this bitter resentment, you know, this sadness that is mixed with anger. And I'm sad because I know what's coming down the pipe for all of us. And none of us deserve this shit. I mean, from heart to heart talk. You, me, every other antinatalist I can think of, regardless of whatever disagreements we might have with each other or whatever else, I don't think any of us should be the ones suffering through this shit. We're trying to stop it. We're trying to put an end to it. We're the ones out here trying to get people to understand that every time they bring a life into this world, they're subject to creating new suffering, new harm, and they're creating for sure new deaths. And we're the only ones out here trying to warn people about that, to stop people from doing this, to save more unborns from ever having to experience this crazy shit that's just getting worse. And yet, for all of that, we are the ones who are going to suffer the most. We suffer. And I hate that. I hate it. Because of all people, we don't fucking deserve it. We don't. And that's just my conviction. I don't think any of us who are in this camp deserve that shit. We're not the ones who created the problem. We're trying to fucking stop it. And then life, just being the bitch that it is, just hits us anyway. It's like, what the fuck is this place, Like, what the fuck is the place? You try to do good. You try to do right. And this is what kills me. You can do everything you know to do the right way, and shit can still go south really fucking fast. And what you're left with is the frustration of having to deal with things you don't want to deal with. And the torment that comes with that, because people seem to think that the pain kicks in when a specific type of thing happens. Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, just thinking about how shit can go wrong is enough to torture a person. I'm living proof of that. I don't necessarily have to have a certain thing happen for me to already be in a state of agony, because most of the time I am mentally. I just know too much about what this life is. I know how malicious and evil it is. And I know what it does to us and what it wants to do to us. And I'm afraid of that shit. I don't want to go through it. I don't want to go through it. I really fucking don't want to. And it's like, fuck, you don't even have a choice. You're just in this shit show without any hope, without any help. And the help that I want, I can't get. I would love to just go into a fucking doctor's office and say, hey, give me some Nimbutal or something, or give me some whatever to just take me out. But all the shit that they have, it's illegal to get. You have to have doctor prescriptions, and then you have to scrounge around for it, and then you have to deal with people's religious and moral beliefs, and it's like, oh fuck, they have this game so tightly knit to where there is no easy way out. There just isn't. And we're stuck like animals in the fucking cage trying to get out. And we want out. We want our freedom. And these fuckers, these damn pro-life religious assholes, they block every means to euthanasia. And then they support, pro-suffering. Do you know that I read an article, I think a month ago, where China, now really listen to this. There was an article where China was complaining about a population decrease, that they were having a waning population. Fucking China, with 1.7 or 8 billion people, is complaining about being worried that their population is going to shrink, that there might not be enough people to repopulate. I mean, you can't get any more absurd than that. But this is what life is. We see it for what it is. The DNA doesn't care about you personally. It doesn't care about me personally. It doesn't care about our suffering. It cares about being perpetuated. It cares that another life is brought here to keep the pain and suffering going on and on and on for no reason. Because that's what the DNA molecule is about. It's about survival at all costs. That's why we have these stupid fucking survival mechanisms built into this damn flesh prison to keep us here, to keep us grounded in this shit so we can suffer more. And the suffering is just truly brutal. It's gut wrenching. There are sometimes I see shit that just makes me want to fucking cry, scream and fucking cry. I mean, it feels like a fucking nightmare every time you wake up in this shit and you realize just how bad everything is. It feels like a goddamn nightmare. Like who can save us from this shit? There's nobody coming to be Mr. Save them. It's just you're in the midst of suffering and you don't have any way to deal with it. You can try to cope as best as you can. But man, let me tell you something. When that suffering and that pain hits, it hits hard. When pain comes in, pain takes away the enjoyment of anything. When you get pain to the point where all you can do is wish that you just didn't have that pain anymore, and that's all you can constantly think about is, I wish I didn't have this pain anymore. That's suffering. That's real suffering. That's torture. And life is going to torture so many of us that way. And I just wish that I had the confidence to go about it, in a different way. I bought a shotgun a few years ago. And, I thought, well, if worse comes to worse, I'll just have to resort to that. And I would rather not have that happen. I think that I deserve a more dignified way out than that. But the way this shit is going, I just don't know. I just do not know. I don't know. I'm teetering. And I just have this anxious feeling about all sorts of shit, man. My life is, for the most part, not going anywhere. Not that there was anywhere to really go in this world, but it's just it's very hard for me mentally right now. It's very hard for me mentally. And I struggle every day thinking about how much longer I'm going to have to do this. I struggle every day thinking about what the next thing is that life is going to torture me about. And that fucking hurts. Because I know that I'm trying my best to spare people from coming into this world to suffer the way that I'm suffering, that a lot of you guys are suffering. And it just seems like there's no mercy. Life is so fucking merciless. I mean, if anybody needed an example of how bad life can get, I mean, hey, look at me. If you don't think that you could bring a child into the world and they would end up just like me or worse, having all these damn anxieties to the point where you can't even sleep, having fears that plague your mind left and right constantly, being so anxious that you can't even do simple things like pick up a phone or make appointments, or so anxious and so afraid to the point where you don't even go to doctors because you're just so fucking afraid of everything. And you're afraid of the process, and you're afraid of, it's just so fucking much that can go wrong in a person's life. And for anybody to sit there and pretend like this is something that is just so flimsical that you can just, toss out a kid and not worry about it. I mean, shit happens. Really bad, horrible shit happens to children, happens to people. Just because you think your kid is going to be able to live a life of comfort and grow up and be normal, whatever the fuck that is, that's not always the case. I'm sure my mother thought that I was going to be a happy kid. I'm sure she probably wanted me to be happy, and I know she does. She tells me that often. But I'm not happy. I'm the opposite of that. I am angry. I am frustrated. I am sad. I am resentful. I hate fucking everything about this planet. And I just want to get the fuck out of here. I don't feel like I deserve the shit that's happening to me. And I know somebody might think that's kind of egotistical of me, but it's the honest fucking truth. I'm not going to bullshit you. I don't deserve this shit. I didn't ask for it. None of us did. And that's the painful part too, is knowing that you are putting up with shit because somebody else had sex, and now you have to deal with the consequences of what they did. It pisses me off every time I hear it. I mean, just the thought about that. That two people can have fucking sex and that will result in 80 to whatever many years of somebody else's suffering because of that one action. It's injustice, it's evil, it's cruelty. It's cruelty. And it just, and it's a cruelty that very few people on this planet see. You know, so much of the majority is so stuck on fucking stupid. It's ridiculous. They're going to breed no matter what. They're going to have kids no matter what. They're going to be pro-life no matter what because they are so fucking indoctrinated. They are slaves to this planet. And they don't care about that. As a matter of fact, if you listen to a lot of them, when you discuss antinatalism, they'll tell you they don't care about the suffering. They don't care. They fucking don't give a shit. Until, of course, it's them or their children. And then all of a sudden, here comes the sudden feelings, you know, the emotions that they should probably have cared. But even then, that's a maybe. I mean, some of these fuckers are so goddamn delusional that they could watch their kid get killed in front of them and they say, oh, well, life was a blessing, and walk away. I mean, this is the fucking thing we're dealing with. Humanity is a goddamn failed cause. This is the most pathetic, pitiful race I've ever seen. You know, it's just, it doesn't make sense. We do things in reverse, and we make suffering out of everything. You know, we enforce suffering. You can't even have a peaceful way out if you ask for it. You have to write down papers and wait months at a time to get approved just to exit with dignity. But at the same time, you can have a fucking dog, you know, who's sick. You take that dog to the vet or whatever, and, you know, the dog is put down humanely. But you turn around and let billions of people suffer to the bitter end with lives that they hate and cannot stand and are in constant pain. And nobody cares. They're against that. They're against giving you the treatment that they would give a sick dog. How horrible is that shit? We live in a fucking hell. Earth is fucking hell. And I really wish that I had a way out. If somebody came up to me and shot me clear dead in the fucking head and made sure I was dead. Nice rhyme there, right? But if somebody came and shot me in the head, I wouldn't even complain about it. You know, I probably would just wish I could tell them, thank you. You finally saved me from all this shit. Because let me tell you, I'm just being honest here, people. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm tired of it. The coping has worn off. I'm noticing thoughts that I probably shouldn't have happen more and more frequently. And I'm noticing changes in me that I don't like. And it's scary. It's really scary, especially given my genetic history with my family. And